welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Bretty Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story where there is an awful boss, a shitty workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you had none of those things, chances are you're the problem.
You are the problem. Today we are joined by a comedian, football fan, and lager enthusiast, Chloe Peck.
Thanks for having me.
How are you happy? Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, that was really good. I thought you were going to say something horrible.
No.
You just said all facts.
Yeah, I didn't want to guess your soccer team because I know that's a very offensive thing.
Yeah.
I want to say West Ham.
Palace.
Fuck.
You said I don't want to guess your football team because that's offensive, and then you did it.
And then you offended
Yeah, that's a classic Brett move. That is a classic move.
Who's your soccer team?
I don't really have one, but my mum is from Newcastle.
Okay.
They're Geordies, so I'd say Newcastle.
Yep,
if
I'll
I was
accept
to
that.
put under pressure, I would say that.
Yeah, I'll accept it.
And we were shit, but now I think we're getting back to being good.
Yeah, you've just won a trophy.
Have we?
Yeah.
What did we win?
Congratulations.
You won the League Cup.
Paralympics.
Yeah.
It's Paralympic. Oh my God.
I've gotta go.
We've really started on a mood today, haven't we?
Sorry.
This is Bron trying to talk sports. He's like,
Yeah.
I've heard of the Paralympics.
We had a V8 supercar driver come in. She's like, aren't you worried about crashing into shops? And he's like, no, they have
question.
barriers. It was a great question, Bron. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a good question.
Yeah, and then you also said, by the way, don't worry if you don't know anything. Because I said, I don't know anything about this. And you said, don't worry, I know too much about it. So it's good for you to not know. And then you can ask questions that people might want to know.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I've got a few of them, actually. I'm ready to go. And then I said, aren't you worried about driving into shops?
Yeah, and it's a relevant question for me as well. Terrified of crashing into shops.
Oh, my gosh, wouldn't it be the worst?
Every day I think, God, what if I crashed into that shop?
And when Bron asked that question, I went, I take back that. There are stupid questions.
Yes.
And please be quiet. You're embarrassing in front of my childhood hero. No, but Crystal Palace.
Palace.
And we won. So
Chris
we won.
Palace.
We won. Newcastle
League
won.
Cup.
What does that mean?
So, right, every season there's like 3 or 4 cups that each team could possibly win.
Yes.
So they could win their league,
Yep.
which is what happens across the course of the season.
Yeah, I know that
Or
one.
they could enter the League Cup, which is the top 4 divisions in the country, and then the FA Cup, which is basically everyone.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
all of the teams down to like the lowest teams
Yep.
in the UK can enter.
Under 10 Bulldogs.
Under 10 Bulldogs, they're in.
Yeah.
They could be playing Man City by the 5th round.
That'd be all, like I only wanted an autograph. That's why I'm here. Yeah, we're not going to win, but yeah, could you guys sign this for me?
Yeah, everyone thinks they're the mascots. Opposition.
Yeah.
So you won the League One, which is the
Okay.
top 4 divisions,
Right.
all competing it out, and it was your first trophy in like 65 years or something. So it was a big deal. Really
Big deal. I was all over it. I'm
Yeah,
all across it.
congratulations, Bernie.
Thank
That's
you.
big.
No, I feel like I did all the work. You'd think I'd know more about soccer considering I played it for fucking 8 years.
Why do you say that like we would know that?
I don't know. I just told you then. I had a soccer scholarship
Really?
you?
What
Yeah.
age was this?
in high school.
Yeah.
But my best friend Ian listens, and he was very good at soccer.
Right.
And he knows I was shit at soccer, but I was the fittest kid because I
Yeah.
had ADHD and I could just run. And I had no coordination. I was good at tackling because I was a fucking cunt and I'd take out people's legs.
Yeah, zero fear.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I'd get yellow carded all the time. It was sick. But I was, people can see the play.
Yeah.
I have none of that. I'm
But like,
I just kick
I
it.
honestly, having played soccer myself, and I was a goalkeeper, so I could sort of like watch the whole game unfurl. People like you who are just really fit and totally talentless would always be my favourite players because I'd be like, you could just
I didn't say totally talented.
You implied it.
Yeah, I have.
But it's just like, you always need one of those players that like, if you've got yourself in a bad situation, could just sprint and like recover and sort it out.
Yes.
And all you need to do then is when you get the ball, just pass it to someone good.
That's what I did.
So-
My signature move was if we
Pass it
were
to
in
Ian.
their half,
Pass it to him.
Yeah.
and then like the keeper kicked it out, and then someone would make a break from the other team. My signature move I would chase them down,
Yeah.
and they would think they're about to have a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Incorrect. Here comes the dog, slide tackling
Exactly.
from behind.
You be
Break
my
his
hero.
ankle.
You be my
and everyone's
favourite
like,
player on
what
the
the
pitch.
fuck? And then I'd have the ball. They're like, no, give it to someone good. And then I'd do a pass it to my mate Ian, and he'd do something great.
Yeah.
And they're like, good on ya. Never kick it. Never kick it.
A lot of people have made a professional career out of doing that.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
hope for me. I've gotta keep
absolutely.
going. Yeah.
You could have played national if you just kept
Yeah.
running.
You could have been in the under 10 Bulldogs if you
you-
dreamed big.
Even at indoor, like I'd be one-on-one with a keeper, and I'm like, I'm going to score my first goal. And then I'd kick it and it would just fucking end up in the stadium somewhere.
Oh, so funny. I would love to see that bit.
That's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. I'm good at
but
mountain biking and motorbike riding, so that's
okay. That's good.
I'm okay at it as well. I'm pretty shit at that, I'll be honest with you.
So, Chloe, your gala set this year was about the footy, and it was one of my favourite jokes that's ever been said. It was
ever?
So, yeah.
Been
it was
said ever?
So
ever.
funny. Yeah. So good. Did
We're
you
back
watch Chloe's gala?
We're back. I have. No, I haven't yet. I haven't watched the
She hasn't
gala
watched
yet.
anything. I knew I'd fucking get you. But you were so fantastic.
That's
you were
so nice.
great every single year, but this is the second year you've come over for the festival, isn't it? And
Third year that I've come, second year I've done the gala. Because the first year I did New Order, which is the lineup.
Oh, yes.
The like Brits lineup show.
Oh, cool.
Who are you on with for New Order?
Rob Orton and Huge Davies.
Oh, yes,
I love
yes.
Rob. I've worked with Rob before. He's such a nice guy.
Such a nice guy.
I love him.
It's
so
like
funny.
They became my children because I feel like the formula of New Order is always like 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
And Rob Orton, God bless him, on the airport on the way there, he asked me a question and I went, I don't know, Rob. And then he went, I'm really sorry. I think sometimes I rely on people who I feel to be more competent than me, but I'm really working on not doing that. And then for the rest of like the rest of the time that we were here, he like really took responsibility for himself. He didn't let me mother him, blah, blah, because I have a propensity to mother people that I perceive to be incompetent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huge, on the other hand, yeah, you will be getting mothered. I'll have you in a little papoose
Good,
by the end of the...
Right. Because I've also just pissed myself. I know it's an audio recording, but Dad's had a doozy, and I can't do anything about it.
Well, I'll wipe you up in a bit. But Huge, on the other hand, was like such a nice guy. One of my best friends, totally love him. So I really don't want to like slag him off in a horrible way. But like his sense of direction was just absolutely dreadful. And then he was also one of those people, like, you know when you walk along and someone's telling you a story and they do this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hate
they
that.
just like
I reckon I do that.
Yeah, I think you could have that in you.
Yeah.
Just push you along to you're in the middle of the road.
They're going like, and then this and then this and you're like, okay, we'll spatial awareness. And anyway, I sort of ended up mothering him, and my Ed Gamble got here and then went, how's it going? And I went, oh yeah, I am having to like mother Huge a little bit. And Ed went, oh, it can't be that bad. And on cue, I turn around and Hugh goes, oh fuck, I've dropped my chocolate bar. And I was like, there you go. That's it. Mummy's got to go and get the boy another Kit Kat.
I don't know what to do. He's having a full tantrum in the middle of the road. You're like, fuck, we couldn't have written this better if we tried.
But you've come over the last 3 years, and do you like the Melbourne International Comedy Festival?
Of course I like the Melbourne International
We
Comedy
love that
Festival.
you love it.
But
We love that you love it.
What is there not to love? Like, it's a great city. It's so chill.
Yeah. And you've got good weather this time. And I don't know what it's like in London at the moment. Is it pretty grim?
Oh, it's beautiful every day.
Yeah, but it's perfect every day, yeah. And everyone's really nice to each other, and there isn't a problem with pollution or overpopulation.
Okay. I might get around this London.
Yeah, you should definitely go over there, yeah. Everyone's so happy.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, I think the internationals that come over like must be the luckiest people, because we get looked after so beautifully, but also like it's the end of our season.
Oh, yeah.
So you've done the show at the Fringe, you've toured the show, and then you bring it here, and it feels like a sort of like victory lap.
Oh, that's great.
And then I hope that it means that we can be of great support to the people that are opening their shows here.
Oh, yeah, and there's so many. I went into a green room last night and there was a guy who was about to go on to do his show, and he had like paper everywhere and a laptop open, and I was like, aren't you about to go? And this is like, we're a week and a half in. And there's already been like Adelaide and Perth and all of these festivals before. And I said, what is this? Are you just going over? And he goes, no, I'm trying to figure it out. I said, the show? And he goes, yeah, I'm trying to figure the show out. I can't figure it out. I was like, but it's like we're almost over. It's almost finished. and he goes, yeah, I'm hoping to have it finished, like sorted by the end of the festival. I was like, good timing. Good
and then tour
timing.
It,
no, I don't know.
No, well, most Australians, we're like, we do Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and that's it. And then we're
Melbourne's
kind of
usually.
But then what do you do with the show?
No, that's it.
We
You
throw
chuck
it
it in the bin.
Take it to Fringe?
No.
What?
There's like Sydney, but that's nowhere near as big as Melbourne. And then there's Brisbane, and again, that's nowhere near as. So Brisbane usually gets like the best of the best of everyone's shows, because that's the end.
Yeah.
But then once Brisbane's finished, you chuck it in the bin and you start again, and then you kick off again in Perth in January.
Okay, pitch to you.
Yes.
Moneymaker. Start selling your dead shows to UK comedians that are going to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yes.
Just change
That's
some of the
great.
references, sell them. for like major bucks.
Can you imagine? I was on a dirt bike on the weekend, but an English accent. That was me trying to do an English accent. I just did a more of a Brett Blake one.
That was so Australian. Yeah. That was the most Australian I've ever heard anyone go.
I don't think character comedy's for me. I tried to do an impression of myself and I just sounded worse. Hello, I'm Brett Blake.
Hi, Governor, it's me, Bretty Blake. I've just pissed myself.
Chloe, help me. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
Chloe, I'm not very good at the accents, like knowing where the accents are from, but I think you sound like you've got a posh accent. Is that
really?
Right? Is that right?
No.
It's not a posh accent.
No. I've got a well, I've picked up some poshness because I went to like quite a nice uni and hang around with all these posh people. But I come from Kent, so my accent is closer to like an Essex accent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's because in Australia I think we have like a few little tiny deviations on the accent, but in England there's so many different ones.
Are people reading me as posh?
I think you.
People reading me as posh?
No.
I think you've just got to. If I were to guess, I would say that you were you were brought up in a posh place.
Wow.
And
okay.
then you are a nice posh person who just like likes
no one,
people.
no one who's working class wants to be posh. You know what I mean? You don't want to be fucking.
No, and like listen, I don't want to. I think there's a lot of like in the UK particularly because there's been like this big call out of people who went to private school and are actually posh. People want to pretend that they're working class now.
Yes.
And I don't want to do that. Like I was born working class. I was probably working class till I was about 10, and then my parents like moved up, so I would say we're sort of like lower middle class now. But my accent is certainly not posh.
Okay.
And if you heard my brother, that which is closer to what my accent was like before I got poshified at uni, he does not sound posh whatsoever, and we sound exactly the same. And it's interesting actually because like my parents were working class into middle class, and my brother's sort of gone the working class way and I've gone the middle class way. So he's like works in a car dealership and it's like a proper geezer. And I went to uni and read books and sort of have taken that path instead. So
can you, because I don't think we might have had a British person on, but my show, okay, whatever.
We've literally had 3 on just before.
When?
No, I'm joking. I was trying to wind you up, Ron. We're on a fun podcast. I'm trying to keep it lighthearted for our guests.
But listen.
Do you just gaslight each other?
Yeah,
we actually do. We get into fights.
We've had 3 British people on and it's my birthday. None of that was true.
She said that this morning because I was late picking her up this morning.
How late?
20 minutes.
And where was I standing?
Outside. But that's not on me that she was outside.
Okay.
But then when we got in the car, she goes, and it's my birthday. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
It's actually a birthday.
No. And then she's like, my kids made me cake as well. And I was like, oh no, I've taken you away from the family.
I left my birthday breakfast to stand out the front of my house for 20 fucking minutes.
And I could have, and she's like, you could have texted. And I was like, I absolutely could have.
This is toxic.
He lives like 4 minutes down the road.
I had to ask her address.
So you must have sat down for like 15 minutes.
Can I tell the story that you told was the most exciting thing that happened to me today, which made me laugh because there was there's a brothel around the side of near my house, and I was like, "Oh,
is that one true or not?"
No, that is a true.
That is true. And then she goes, "Yeah, but it's not a brothel anymore.
So it's not true.
Just turned into someone's house."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking weird to live in a brothel, I guess." And she's like, "Yeah." And on the front door says, "This is not a brothel anymore. Don't knock." So men have just been like horny at 2 a.m. like, "Let me in. I need a root." And then there's like, "We're a family. We're not. This is not a brothel anymore." And that just made me so happy. I don't know why.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's a family. The kids live there.
When you're selling the house, do you think you have to declare the brothel on the selling?
I think there's probably some indications that it's a brothel.
Sex and swing, also, and every single room has a shower.
The red light at the front door. Yeah.
The sign saying brothel.
9 taxis out the front. Yeah. So, that's near my house. So I want to ask. Oh, yes. I watched Adolescence recently.
Oh, yeah.
And now,
Brilliant,
it was so good. It was so good. But when I watched it, I was like, I'm not reminded because I never I used to be a teacher, but I never taught in England. But I remember teaching with a woman who was like, I said, "Oh, sorry, the kids can be really rough here." And she was like, No, I used to teach in London. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I thought everyone was posh. Okay, whatever. And then she was like formidable. Okay. And the kids just like fell into line after that. And I was like, oh, wow, she knows how to deal with naughty kids.
Yeah.
And then I watched Adolescence where they're awful to the teachers. Is that a true reflection on what it's like to go to school in London?
So Eve, my girlfriend who's Australian, was watching it and was like, is that what school's like? And I was like, yeah. And she wouldn't believe me. She was like, that is not what schools in the UK were like. And I was like, that is truly what schools in the UK are like. I went to like the best. So you've got like state schools or private schools.
Yeah.
Private schools are the paid ones. I went to a state school, which was the best state school in the area.
Mm-hmm.
My brother went to it was still a good school, but it was the kids that like struggled a little bit more. And it was bang on what you saw in adolescence.
Oh my
and
gosh.
like, I think what you have to understand is like, it's bad. It is bad, but also like really funny.
Yes.
Because like, if you get given like an inch and you
Oh
take a
my
mile, like
God.
it's really funny.
I think, and I don't know if this is like other people pick up on it, maybe it's just our sense of humour. I don't think Australians, and this comes to hecklers as well, I don't think Australians are like as witty or as quick as English people. Whereas if you're at a pub with English people and like, I know you guys, you call it banter or whatever, but you guys are firing very fast and very quickly. And I would imagine school would have been like that.
Yeah,
There's
it's
just
training,
3,000
yeah.
little cunts roasting you.
Yeah.
And Australian kids are like, I've got a knife and I'm running around. You're like, yeah, good on you, dickhead.
Okay,
But whereas
Brett.
over there, they seem like cheeky, smart,
The
well
words
thought
are
out burns.
nice. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, I guess it does give you a good training. I can't claim to have had that school experience. Like I went to a really nice state school and was like really happy there.
And the people respected the teachers.
No one ever does.
No.
dude.
For the most part, I would say like we would take the piss, but it would never be cruel. And we were quite good because it was an all-girls school. I feel like we were quite good at self-policing. So like if someone went too far, someone would go like, that's enough now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which was crazy. One girl, like, you know how you get a bully at school who then, when they're 30, reaches out and apologises to people that they bullied.
Yeah.
One girl, like, she was like a bully in year 9. By year 11, she was like, I'm so sorry for how I behaved in year 9. Like, I really regret the way that I treated you. And it was just like really sweet to kind of see that growth.
I had the meanest girl in
I've
my
got to send
school.
a few messages.
Yeah, you do. There was a really awful, the coolest, meanest girl, really beautiful, and from year 7 to year 10, and then I moved to a different school, and she was quite awful to me. And then I bumped into her at a nightclub when we were 18, and she made fun of what I was wearing in front of
that's not
everyone,
right.
and I was like, oh my God, that's really embarrassing. She's still really mean to me.
I was going to say, I can't imagine anyone being mean to you, Bron, because you're like,
No.
you're quite an intimidating force.
I will
That's a
will
compliment.
bash you. But when she did it, and I was like, it was like a scene out of a movie. Like people were embarrassed with what she said to me. It wasn't like people were like, oh, come on, mate, or no one laughed. It was just humiliating.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, cool, that's a core memory now. And then like months later, when she was maybe like 19 or 20, she turned to Buddhism and she like lives. I think she lives in either Bali or Byron Bay, same thing. And she's only practices peace. And when she turned to Buddhism, she contacted everyone at the school, almost everyone, and said, "I'm really sorry for the times I disrespected you. Do you accept my apology?" So all these people were like, wow, this is so nice. She never fucking messaged me. Never. I'm still waiting for. I'm like refreshing my inbox. I'm like, it's been
What the actual
25
fuck?
years. Yeah.
Why don't you message her?
I might
Because
have to.
like, come the end of this show, you might need an idea for another show, and
This could be it.
Oh,
Could
this
be a good bit.
it.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, hell yeah, there's a hot Buddhist out there now. I'm going to go join a temple.
Oh my God, you're so. He has kissed a girl last night, and he's really
Wow,
toey.
good
And
on ya.
I'm so sorry, Chloe.
Nothing wrong with that.
which girl did you kiss? No,
I
obviously there's
don't wanna
nothing
go into
wrong with
detail.
that.
I think
Susan Proven.
Yeah, I kissed the festival director. Now
I
I'm
kissed
banned.
the festival.
I kissed the festival on the lips. I kissed the MICF sign. I had ecstasy. I was very high. It was colourful. I smooched it. Whatever.
My mum kisses on the lips, so if she met you, Chloe, she'd kiss you right on the lips.
Is she hot?
She's 70 years old.
Why do you
She's
think? Why do you,
lovely.
Bron's like, my mum's in town. I'll be at the airport in 5. I'll get her. Got the chapstick on.
You too. Okay, so Chloe, this entire podcast is about nightmare work stories.
Oh yeah,
Have you ever had a job?
yeah,
Okay,
loads of
great.
jobs.
Okay, for you. I'm trying to still work out whether you're posh or not. It's
I'm
really
not
thrown
posh.
me.
Do you want to
Really
know?
people
thrown
posh,
me.
Bron.
Do you know what my first job was?
Yes, I need to know.
Newspaper round.
Yep.
Second job, worked at McDonald's.
Okay.
Third job, worked as a cleaner on an industrial estate.
Okay, that's not posh at all. None
There
of
you
those
go.
things are posh. You're right. You proved
I think Bron
yourself.
just hears a different accent. Like, that's fancy. 'Cause she's from a shithole in Australia. So
Yeah.
Are you from Wagga Wagga?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Michelle Brazier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think her mum
both
came
do
to my
musical
show.
comedy.
How dare you?
You're a singer.
I do not sing. I just play the ukulele. I don't. Okay, so what is the worst job you've ever had?
I think probably that cleaner
That sounds
job was
awful.
bad.
How old were you? You were a teenager.
I was like, I went to uni and like
What did you study at uni?
English lit,
Okay.
and it was in London, and like I had no money, and you get like this grant or something for uni, and mine just covered my rent. So like I was oh fuck.
Do you have to pay that back?
Yeah, you pay it back like an additional tax.
Okay. Yes.
So most people will never pay off the full amount in their life because you just pay like a percentage of your income every month.
Okay.
So anyway, I was working at a cafe while I think I worked at McDonald's and then I quit McDonald's because it was so fucking shit. It was really bad.
Free hash browns though.
Yeah, but I didn't need any more of those.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And then
were you a bit on the
I
chunk
was
side?
I was big. Yeah.
I would. You can't be skinny and be at McDonald's because I'd be eating all that shit all day.
Yum.
Yeah, never trust a never trust a skinny chef.
Correct,
Never trust a skinny McDonald's worker. So I was like doing as many shifts at McDonald's as I could, but like it was difficult juggling them with seminars and partying and all of this kind of stuff. And then I just got myself into like a massive amount of debt. And I got home and I told my parents, I was like, look, I'm in all of this debt. Like, what do I do? And I was meant to be going to Italy that summer to like, the summer before, I like nannied this girl and they'd like put me up and I just looked after her for the whole summer. It was amazing. And I was meant to be going back and the day before my parents were like, you can't go, like you can't afford it. So I had to cancel, broke that relationship with the Italian family. And then I just got the first job that I could, which was cleaning this industrial estate. And it was fucking miserable. It was just like shit up the walls, like just awful stuff. But like there was also sort of like it's horrible to think that this was my psychology at one point, but like some kind of pride in like, well, you got yourself into this problem, so like, you know, toothbrush on the toilet your way out of it.
Yeah, clean yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And how long do you have to do that for?
I did that for a summer and then I went back and I got a job at the uni cafe.
Oh, that's good.
That was good because they paid like London living wage and like
good.
they gave you loads of free food.
Yeah, and there wasn't shit on the fucking walls.
No
that you
shit
had to
on the
scrape.
walls.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, I love when a job's really fucking shit though. You know what I
Really?
mean? Because you go in the room and you're like, you don't know what you're gonna see. You're gonna be a dead body. You know what I mean? Like a cafe, you're like, yeah, I might burn myself on the fucking coffee machine, but there's no risk of me getting fucking, I don't know, a heroin needle or some shit.
Why do you keep saying heroin needle?
I'm obsessed with heroin needle this last
Do
day.
you want to do heroin?
I think so. Yeah.
Is it because you haven't been boozing as much? You're like, oh god,
I'm
really,
I'm getting the shakes. I need heroin.
I'm jonesing for something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it could just be a coffee. But
yeah, coffee or heroin. Those are the two options that you have. Yeah.
So when did you get into comedy then? So you did English Lit and you obviously finished that. You obviously became the best cleaner in the world.
best cleaner.
And then you, because like English Lit, there's not many jobs at the end of that.
No,
Is there?
No, no. But
I was like,
no.
to my knowledge, what are you? Were you a professional book reader? I didn't go to university. Anyway.
Yeah, professional book reader.
Yeah.
Pay page per minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, I did a load of acting at uni, and then was like, oh, that's for wankers. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was just going to be a bit of hard work after. And I didn't want to, like, do sort of like I didn't have the money to do, like, an acting MA after. So I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to become a stand-up comedian. And I'll get a job that will keep me in London. So I did, I became an outreach worker for homeless people. So I volunteered my last year of uni doing that because I thought it might be something that I enjoyed and I loved it. And then, so my first job out of uni while I was doing stand-up was I started at this hostel in Tottenham, which was like a it was a hostel that had an office in it, and we were this like team of support workers, and it was like so fun because it was a new service that had just been commissioned. So the managers, Emma and Rebecca, God, I hope I've got that right because we were so close. Jesus. Anyway, Emma, Rebecca, we were we were all really close because they assembled the team. And what was great about them is that they told us after, like, we didn't really assemble the team on like who we thought was the most competent. We assembled it on who we thought was the best vibes. And that was amazing because I was like going in, doing this work where it was basically like people that had recently experienced homelessness with an additional support need would come and stay in our hostel, and we would support them into like, we had other properties around Haringey, Borough of London, which were like then semi-supported, which we've moved them out to and see if they could like live you know, semi-independently, and then hopefully with the aim of moving them to live totally independently. But what was great about it was every day, and I think this was what made us such a good team, no one was coming in going like I'm going to do some admin or any of this kind of stuff. It was like, I'm going to come in and how can I make my colleagues laugh today? What is the thing that I can do to make everyone just piss themselves during team meeting? And it was just the best year.
Yeah, right.
I loved it. It was amazing.
And is that what made you think, maybe I'll just get into comedy?
No, I was doing comedy at the time.
Oh, great.
So like, I finished exams.
Yep.
I finished stand-up exams. No, I finished my exam.
I fucking skipped that test. No wonder I suck.
I did my exams like maybe beginning of May. By the end of May, I'd done my first gig, and then I started the job I think in like June or July, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was just great because it was just piss around, and we did work really hard and we really looked after the client.
And it seems like a fucking rewarding job as well at the end because you're actually helping people become independent. You know what I mean? And
totally.
I don't know. I find that stuff nice. You know.
You could probably help Brett with some things by the end of this podcast.
Yeah, I could be your support worker if you need me.
That would be nice.
That's what I was gunning for. Thanks, guys. Bron can teach me, former teacher. You can rehouse me. Fucking hell. It's a big day for Bretty. I'm excited. Should we go to the brothel to celebrate? Oh, no, sorry. It's someone's house now. I'll knock on the door. Damn it.
So did that stuff, like working in this hostel, did that influence your material?
I never spoke about it, but I think it like helped me develop like a really thick skin because like I would go and do these like stand-up sets for 5 minutes or whatever, and then like you're not gonna get roasted by some like banker who's come to see you with his mates. They're not gonna roast you harder than like some heroin addict that you're trying to support because like heroin addicts are fucking brutal is what I would say.
Yeah, okay.
So you just have to like be totally unflinching and just be like, So I think it helped me with crowd work.
Oh my God, perfect. Oh, that's great.
Thinking on your feet, not getting cowed by it, like comebacks.
Did you ever get carried away and you start roasting homeless people? Like, you don't even have a house car. You're like, oh no, I went too far, sorry.
What's your job, mate? Oh, you don't have one?
And so how long did you do that for? A while?
I was in the hostel for 1 year. Can I tell you my favourite story of like the
please.
gallows humour of it? So we were in Dial House, which was the main hostel where like the most support was, and then just around the corner there was like these semi-independent houses, and me and my mate Ryan, who is still one of my best mates to this day, we had to go and support this client who we'd been told was having like a psychotic break, and we were sort of like kind of used to that kind of thing, and he was just this like very unwell person called Sean, and he was like a young guy, and we like knocked on the door and was like, hey Sean, how are you? How's things going for you? And we walked in, and I was like, I don't think I was 21 and I didn't have a sense of danger, so I just like sat down on the sofa and was like, yeah Sean, I'd love a cup of tea. Meanwhile his eyes are like black, and he does not look well, and he's like, his eyes are flitting all around the place. And my mate Ryan is being really weird, and I was looking at him like, what the fuck are you being so weird? Like,
don't be rude to Sean.
Stop being rude to Sean. He's making us a cup of tea. Like, sit down. And then he's just gone like this the whole time, and I'm like, what? And he's like, Twitch, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? And I was, and he was trying to indicate to me that basically like Sean was making us a cup of tea, and there was like a massive like knife. Like one with the like
like a Rambo looking one.
Yeah, a Rambo looking one just sat there on the side, and I just been going and going, oh yeah, oh how's your mum, Sean? Should we have a lovely cup of tea? Yeah, come on, sit down. And then all of a sudden I was just like, but we couldn't be rude, so we had to like continue the conversation for a bit, and then we just like ran out of there and started dying.
Like, do you want some cake? Have you got a knife? No, I actually like eating with my hands.
It was just shit like that where I was like, that's just funny that at 21 I was just like going in and...
Yes. Lucas, my partner, he thought he wanted to be a social worker, and he went to a private boys' school.
Oh, no.
It's so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
funny. So he
Also,
brought
because Lucas is such a sweetheart, but if he would be
Yes.
eaten alive at my school.
Oh,
yeah, he's too nice.
He knows what knife crime is, but he thinks it's fencing.
Yeah. That was actually
That
good.
was
That was
really
actually
Thank you.
That was good.
And then he went. They said, okay, so you want to do social work? His mum and dad were like these Polish people who were like, you cannot. You have to do something more sensible. This is really, you're going to be working with drug addicts. And he was like, yes, that's what I'll be working with. It's who I want to work with. It's great. And they were like, this. What have we done? They were like crying. They're praying at church. He's made a big mistake.
Oh, my boy, he's going to be working class. We cannot have this.
And he really like stuck his
now with a
heels
Polish
in. He was like,
accent, by the way.
no, I am doing it. They people need me. Like, they can't all just be about money. Anyway, he went in and worked at like this halfway house, and he said he lasted like days. Like he got there, and the lady was like, right, so it's 24 hours, and everyone is really unwell.
Yep.
Okay, they're all at different levels of like withdrawal.
Yeah.
So you just have to just be safe. Okay, and he's
Fucking
like 18, and he's like, yeah, okay. Cool. So where's the chaplain, and where do I? And they're like, you just got to hope for the best.
Yeah, where do we play Soggy Biscuit? Like what?
Oh my god! And then when he quit, he was like, I said, why did you quit? And he was like, I just did not have enough life experience. To try and they can smell it. Like, if you see an 18-year-old who's come from like a boys' Catholic school who's like, and how are your withdrawals, mate? Like they're just like.
Did you do a heroin?
Yeah,
If you're not
exactly.
from that world, you get seen very fucking quickly.
Do you know what though? Like, this was a learning curve for me because then, so I did year in the hostel and then like, I think 4 or 5 years outreach in Westminster, which is like the most densely populated homeless population like in the whole country. And I was always worried that they would think I was like some kind of like young upstart, like posh accent, you know, because it was posh at that point after uni. And we used to go walking around looking for homeless people, and I was always paired with this guy called Neil, who was absolutely great.
My favorite, when you said walking around looking for homeless people, I was like, were you in bum fights? Do you remember that TV show?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not going to talk about
What
that.
was it that you looked for a homeless person and then fight them?
It was a TV show. It was big it was in America.
That's fucking
It's
horrible.
fucked. It's the most worst. But it was called bum fights, and they used to make two homeless people fight each other for money.
That's fucking
the guy was on
miserable.
Dr. Phil as well. He has that famous clip where he's on Dr. Phil and he comes out dressed as Dr. Phil to Dr. Phil's show and goes, you're exploiting homeless and vulnerable people. And he goes, I do exactly what you do.
Yeah.
And Dr. Phil's like, and he got him. And then he fucking smoke bombed and walked away.
Fucking
But yeah, it was an awful TV show.
Yeah.
It was on the internet.
Shit. Well, it wasn't that.
You
I never
didn't do
made.
that.
You weren't in bomb
You
fights.
didn't
I
Okay,
never
move on
made
now.
one homeless person fight, and I want that place on record.
You've been on Netflix, and I'm like, bum fights? I'm really dragging the bar down.
No. I will come with you to
Thank you.
the low bar.
My carer has to. Thank you.
Well, Neil was like this gay guy, and he'd been working in for like 30 years doing it, and he was such a nice bloke. And he always said when he first started working in hostels when he was like 21, he like thought he had to be like this macho geezer, and everyone was like responding really bad to him. And then one time, a homeless guy, like took him to one side and was like, just be yourself. Like everyone will just like it if you're yourself. And the next day he just came in and was himself and said the response was just so much better. Yeah. So I think when I was like 21, 22, 23, like not knowing what the fuck was going on, I would just say that to the client. So I'd be like, I don't know, I'm trying to learn off you. Like you tell me. And they would respond really well to that. Because I guess it's just like you're seeing them as humans rather than like, you know, subjects.
Yeah. And like, you're older than me. What do you reckon? You know what I mean? You're like, oh, great.
You tell me, like, I'll listen to you. And if we can't do that, we can't do it, you know?
Because it must be hard if they've gone through like an awful life and they're in their 40s and they've come to you and you're this 20-year-old giving them advice. That would be so jarring. Be like, okay, I'm furious now.
I just wouldn't give them advice. I'd just be like, look, this is what I know we can do. This is what my job is. Like, you tell me what you want. You lead it. And like, also just going like, yeah, I am lucky. Like, you've had a shit life. Like, you haven't had the chances that I've had, and I'm sorry about that.
What can I do to help? Yeah. That approach. Because after I did watch Adolescence, I was like, oh man, I want to get into fucking youth work. And I'm like, I looked at a tape.
Good at it,
yeah,
you know?
I reckon I'd be all right with teenage troubled. Like, I'm not good with kids, but like teenagers, I reckon I'd relate
You're
to.
good at kids.
Yeah.
You're good with kids. Yeah, you're nice to my kids, and you're normal.
Because they fucking pick on me. But
You're
anyway.
normal.
Yeah.
You're normal.
Now some people talk to kids. People without kids talk to kids like kids are.
I watched your show and I was like, was that bit about me?
A bit of my show where I say you can always tell when someone doesn't have kids when they talk to kids because they're like, "Hello, little person, how are you?" The kid's like, what the fuck's wrong with this person? And they always ask them weird questions. The kids would not, like, how many kidneys have you got? The kid's like, what the fuck is wrong with them? So no, it wasn't about you, Bretty. But my kids like to bully Brett, and that is.
It's pretty easy. I am an easy target. I will be honest.
Come on,
I'm very gullible, and I believe anyone, and they always set me up, and I'm like, oh, this time they'll be nice, and they're not.
Like what kind of stuff? Like
Well,
facts or something?
No, they'll play games and they'll pretend that everyone plays the game, and then when I go to participate, they'll just go, "What a fucking idiot!" and it really ruins my life.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. And then they're like high-fiving for days. They're like, remember when your friend Bretty come over, Mum? And I'm like, yeah, you got him, a beauty.
And then
that guy sucks.
Yeah, and then when I bring Bron, they're like, "Is that the guy we practical joked?" And I can hear him in the background. I'm like, "No, you didn't get me, you fucking asshole!" I can't even ring Bron without
Everyone plays that. We're playing it. We're all playing it now. I've got friends over.
And then I was like, I was the week after. I was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna fucking get him back with pranks. And then I was coming up with what pranks I was gonna do to these fucking kids. I was like, well, I'm gonna put fucking Glad wrap on the toilets when they piss on there. It's gonna fucking go all over themselves. And I'm like, what are you doing, Brett? I'm scheming against some 11-year-olds.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so maybe you shouldn't work with kids.
Yeah.
Actually now.
No, but I thought that, after seeing Adolescence, I was like, what a great space to fucking work in. And I think it would be quite rewarding. And I was like, well, comedy doesn't last forever. And also you can do comedy while also doing a side little thing as well. Totally. And I thought maybe that would be something I'd interested in. And they said it was $5,000 and it would take a year. And I said, fuck that. And
don't have either of those things. So you forget it.
I was like, I'll buy a new mountain bike for that.
What do you think the difference is between Australian audiences and UK audiences?
I was talking about this the other day, and like, I think the things that you think are different about UK audiences are the same things that we think about different, like Australian audiences. Because I was talking to Mel and Sam about it, and they were like, UK audiences are much more easily offended than Australian audiences, and I was like, I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
Because a lot of like, you know, people that are like of our demographic that would sort of be our mates. Like, I think if you say something edgy, like if you mention a word like disability or race or queer stuff, they will wait and see what your punchline is and then give it a laugh if they think it deserves it. Whereas I think the first year that I was here, sometimes like a large proportion of the audience would like hear a word that they thought was a trigger word and just go, I don't want to find this funny.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a very Melbourne thing though as well. Like if you went to Perth or Brisbane, they will come with you. But Melbourne is a little bit more like that. They're like, oh,
yeah,
Melbourne, Adelaide's a bit like that too.
Yeah.
They get nervous.
Whereas Perth are like, fucking say something, fucked. We love it.
Have you performed in Perth yet?
No.
It is so rough and ready. I
love
love
it
so much.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. But you would destroy in Perth. Oh my God, can you imagine Chloe Petts in Perth? Perth Perth wouldn't be able to recover. You have to go over.
Okay, I'll go to Perth. Maybe this is one of your pranks that you're setting me up for.
Yeah, we got
you have to go to Wagga Wagga.
I'll go to Perth and then walk into the sea. Please, also, a shark take me.
We're like, they're racist, and we're like, Chloe, you would kill over there. You know what I mean? Like, no, but they would actually love you.
But yeah, to be honest, like the more I do Australia, the more I see less difference. And
okay, that's good.
But I would say, like, as a general rule, audiences are a little bit like, for the most part, nicer. Like quite polite and like don't shout out as much. And I think that's just because like there's less of like a crowd work culture here. But I think that's also changing slightly because there is a crowd work culture globally now because of clips
TikTok.
online. Yeah.
So there's more crowd work in the UK.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think you're right. That whole TikTok generation has kicked off because, comics don't want to burn jokes, so they were putting up crowd work. And now most audiences who haven't seen anything besides online are like, we just
When are you
meant
going to talk to me?
Yeah.
And honestly, 3 years ago when I came for the first time, I think it was still just a little bit pre that. So when I did crowd work, people were like, "Wow,
talking to us for?"
yeah."
And did they like it? Or,
They liked it. Yeah.
Crowd work is fun.
Yeah,
I
fun.
love crowd work. It is really fun. But when you watch someone who's not very good at it do it, it is hell.
Oh no, it's even more fun, but not for them. Bad crowd work, you're like, oh, that's bad. But it's always, when you see someone do bad crowd work and then someone after them's good at it, that's when it's great because they're like, it was all in the room. You just didn't hit the right buttons, or even when someone crowd works after you've crowd worked and they found something in the room that's so funny, and you're like, oh, that guy worked at the storage factory. Fucking ask that. You know what I mean? Oh, I fucking enjoy that.
So we ask this of every guest is, what is the worst gig you've ever had? And was it in Australia?
It doesn't have to be bad, but it's something awful that happened.
Have you had a bad one in Australia yet?
Yeah. Like, they go... Like, last year, I was having the best time and I was like, this is great. I'm loving this. And then, like, the last show that I did here was that big gala that Adam Hills hosts.
Okay.
And like,
the Moosehead or something? No.
Maybe.
Yeah, the Moosehead. Yeah, that was... And then I think it was two different hosts. So I think he started hosting, and then Hoops came over and she did the second half.
Right, okay.
It was on the last night.
Yeah.
Is this one?
I think that's
huge.
the
It was in...
benefit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was like... I was having like a good month, and I come off the back of like Edinburgh tour support, my tour, more tour support here. So I was like feeling really match ready and feeling like really great and like really loving being on stage. And obviously that's the time when you're most vulnerable, right? Because I sort of walked out on stage like, you're welcome.
Yes.
And then all of the fucking elderly people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I think I walked out and they were all like, oh, this looks like a polite young man. By the end, they were like, what a rude lesbian. So they fucking hated it. And then I went and did some gala in Sydney and they hated it too, to the point where I had to be like, guys, like, because they've been shit to the whole, like, they've been shit for everyone before. And I was like, guys, like, you are I'm sorry if you don't think you're being shit. You are being shit. Like, can you work a little bit harder? And it was one of those where you have to go like, okay, I'll ruin my set. I'll fall on the sword.
Great.
I'll fall on Sean's serrated knife. But yeah, so I've had some bad ones here. But I think my favourite worst one was, I don't know if Zoom gigs were a thing here.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah.
COVID. God.
Yeah. Awful.
I did one for Radio 4 and... Look, it was going fine. It was not a death by any means, but it wasn't the best.
How many minutes?
Probably like 8.
And are you in your lounge room?
Have you got to decorate? Have you decorated your backdrop?
No, I wasn't into that. I haven't got an aesthetic eye, so I just like, it was just like the neatest wall. And
it's the one with no cake or shit smeared.
And I was doing the set. I was probably like 4 minutes in. It was fine. People were like laughing enough, but like some people enjoyed it, some people not. And then I just heard this like disembodied voice just go, "Do we have to be here?" And I looked so shocked, and then was just like, "No, you're sat at home. Just press leave. Like, I won't know. This is the time in a gig where you least have to be here. Just turn it off."
Yeah, put it on mute or turn the screen off or leave the room.
So many
It was
options.
fucking amazing.
And they interrupted you to say, "Do I have to be
what?
here?"
They didn't think I would be up to here.
Oh my God.
So, do we have to be here? And I went, did someone just say, do I have to be here? But there's also that moment where, like, when you're having, like, such a mid-gig, when something happens in the room, there is kind of a part of you which is like, I could turn it around using this.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And did it?
I mean, the rest of the set was just that.
Right.
But the part I don't miss about those Zoom gigs or that time, obviously the time was shit or whatever, was bombing in your lounge room.
Yeah.
Because, if you have a bomb, you at least go, you know the rules. You don't make eye contact with other comedians.
Yeah.
You walk out. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. that happened. Drive home, process it. I'm at home. Great, TV's on. The problem is when you laptop down, and 9 times out of 10, your missus is in the room like, ooh, that didn't go good. And you go, yeah, I know. Yeah. And then you're still in the same space, and it's hard to leave that energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like,
But it's also like mental how you could like pick up over the airwaves whether you were having a good gig or not. Crazy.
I did one, and there was I could see all of the people, and the direction from the CEO was, okay, so we've got a comedian on. She's going to do 20 minutes.
20
minutes, and
12.
I've asked you all to bring your lunches. So everyone go on mute because we don't want to hear you chewing. We don't want to hear you chewing. But don't turn your camera off because I want to make sure you're still there.
I want to see you eating.
Yes.
It's my kink.
I want to see you. So I have to perform 20 minutes of silence and watching them eat. Watching like 30 people
That
just like
is fucking
their
amazing.
salads.
What a
And I was
psycho boss. I want to make sure you're watching this.
Yeah, just are you there?
What does it matter?
It was all, and because I was like, I don't know. And then every now and then I'd see someone go,
Was it good money?
Okay. Oh, I was like $500.
Nah,
no,
not good
it
enough
was
for
not
that.
good money. But it was near the start. Maybe it was even less. It could have actually been less. But afterwards, like, you know, you're like, as soon as I went, and that's my time, guys. That's my time. And then like the person took ages to work out how to come back on, like the CEO, and then she came. So it was lots of fiddling around, her like searching, everyone kind of looking at me, and they've like people silently clapping or not even, and then me being like, do I just leave? Then she finally came out. She went, okay, thank you. And then I just had to press leave, and when I pressed leave, it just went blank on the screen. I could just see my reflection in my screen, like, this is awful.
Love that.
I did one outside near like a fire pit, and I had like my motorbike set up so it kind of looked cool. But I ended up recording it and just kept using I kept sending them people the footage, and I would never rock up to the Zoom ones. But I did the one I did it for. I did the gig, and I wasn't going well. And I was like, oh, well, at least no one heard that. And then my neighbour goes, have you finished yet? And I went, yeah. And I go, were you here the whole time? He goes, yeah. We're all out here. So it was like him and another neighbour. So I was like, oh, did you hear it all? And he goes, yeah. And you didn't laugh once? Oh, yeah. And I was like, okay, so I've bombed to a Zoom meeting, and my neighbours didn't find it funny either. And we're like, are you done yet, mate?
So
have you finished crapping on in the back garden? And within the last 15 minutes, I was like, fuck, I bombed twice.
I think the Skype's made the older comedians very angry because we had to all change. Everyone had to pivot. Everyone had to work with whatever. But I know in Queensland, the older comedians up there were so furious about any kind of Skype stuff. And there was one older comedian who was doing this corporate, and he would have been on okay money, not incredible money, but okay money. It would have been less than what he would have been paid if it was a live thing.
Yeah.
And he was annoyed that he was getting paid that fee. And so he was supposed to be doing like 20 minutes. And I know someone who was in this meeting. Crowd
working to those windows as well. Like, and what do you do for a living? I'm not right. Yeah, take it off mute, you fucking idiot. I'm trying to work here.
But he was so bitter about it. He was so jaded that he was doing it. So he was just being like, well, if this was live, we'd all be having a good time. But it's not live, so you're probably all finding me pretty tedious to watch, and that's actually not my fault. It's this pandemic, and here we are, and this is what we're dealing with anyway. And he like loves a lot of his comedy stories. So he's like, anyway, I'll tell you this one story. And so he's telling this really long-winded story, and he's a good comedian, so there's like lots of like funny bits in it. But he built the real huge build-up to the final punchline, and everyone is listening. And then he goes, and then I said, and then he looked at the time and he goes, and that's my time, and then left the meeting. Oh my God.
Before the final punchline.
He was like, I do not get paid. Then he said, he justified it after, the fee was bad enough. I'm not doing a second longer.
That is mental.
That is fucking insane. It's like, dude, finish your story off because everyone's loving it. You're like, no, bye. I thought you were going to say, you know how like the free Zoom or whatever had that after 45 minutes and it turned off? It's like, your meeting is now over. No.
I love that.
Oh, so good. So Chloe,
Yes.
you're a stand-up comedian now, hugely successful. And are you going? How long are you staying in here in Australia for?
I'm going to be here for the rest of the festival, and then I'm doing Sydney.
Great.
And then I'm
Even
gonna,
though they hate you,
do they hate me in Sydney?
you just said that. The gala.
Oh, the gala hated me. But the little gays that came to my show, they
Yeah,
liked
of course.
Okay.
it. Yeah. Anyone with a mullet likes my show. That's the
Great.
general
I'm going to
rule.
love your show. I can feel
That's
it
the
already.
general rule.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
for people with mullets.
And in Australia, there's heaps of them.
Exactly.
You're going to have such an audience here, dude. It's
That's
gonna
why
be
I come out here
insane.
so much. I'm like, it's the mullet capital of the world.
Wait till you go to Newcastle. That's where they have the mullet fest. You're going to fucking love it there.
Oh, it is good. I've
Really?
seen pictures. I've
Yeah.
never been,
where,
obviously.
where is Newcastle?
So Newcastle's up from Sydney. It's like 2 hours
Oh,
away.
okay,
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
I would like to go there actually.
Yeah.
I would like to visit.
It's a good
I
comedy
really
room
want to
there.
go to all of the different places that like correspond to UK places and see how they compare.
Yeah.
Like I would
Newcastle.
like to go to Brighton as well because
Oh, yeah.
Palace, my team, our biggest rivals in the UK are Brighton, and I would like to go and just like wear my Palace colours, cause a bit of shit. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know
any
down there. They just
They
idea
wouldn't know what was
you're
going
They'll
on.
doing.
just run
I'm
you
going
over in
around
the
doing
Mercedes.
wanker signs like this. They're like, who's
Oh,
this?
they would notice that. They're like, whoa, there's someone poor here.
Yeah.
Brighton's
She does
like the
not
most
sound posh.
wanky suburb. in
Once
Melbourne.
again, what a rude lesbian.
Yeah. Ooh, I think I saw her at the Sydney Gala. Yuck.
So
Sydney and
Sydney
then
and then-
Brisbane?
no, I'm not doing Brisbane. I'm
Oh.
just here till. They
then
seem
you
to
go
just be
home.
adding like each year I come there adding one city on.
Oh, great.
They seem to be like, you know, sort of
We
soft,
trust you now. You can go
soft
one more.
launch it. Yeah, one more. Like you
One
haven't
more.
fucked up in Canberra.
Oh, yeah, Canberra.
We'll send
Yeah,
you
did you
Brisbane.
enjoy Canberra?
I did like Canberra. Yeah, I thought it was really nice. They're a really lovely audience.
Good.
It's a
Like
shithole.
It
I
is.
like
It's
That's
so
where Bron's
quiet.
from.
Oh my gosh, like all the
I love
posters.
Ashley. I love
Yeah,
Canberra.
it was
I'm just
great. It was
Great
the
audience.
audience is very good, but yeah, the pictures that they were posting about the Canberra festival was like, just don't post them because it makes it look like no one's coming. Okay, like it was just like this cold. It was like one caravan, one lady with mulled wine, and like, no, this is not. You need more than one person for it to look like a good photo, guys. Come on. So
Not
okay.
my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a nice enough time. It was fine. So wait, how is Canberra your hometown and Wagga Wagga?
Well, I was born in Wagga Wagga, but I grew
Right.
up in Canberra.
Grew up in-
Every
oh,
school
sorry.
holidays, I was back in
Right.
near Wagga Wagga all
Right.
the time. Yeah. So anyway, it's complicated. I'm a gypsy. I'm white trash.
Okay,
That's why we get along well.
That's what. Yeah.
We're
Well, we
both trash.
understand.
that's so nice.
So Chloe, thank you so much for coming on. How can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram
Uh-huh.
at Chloe Pets, and you can find my website, which is chloepets.org.
Fantastic. You're so fucking good, and you are a real treat. You're a real asset to Melbourne Comedy Festival. I hope you come
That's
back
so
every
nice.
single year.
I would love to.
Good.
If I will be had, I will. Be
Look, hang
had.
on.
Good.
I just got off the phone. You're welcome back. Thank you. No, I did it. Yeah,
Now that you're dating Susan Proven,
Yeah. Well, apparently I've been kissing her all last night.
you've
Well
got
done.
an insider.
Congratulations.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, please make sure you jump on the Patreon, like, subscribe, all that boring bullshit. And if you're around Australia and you see Chloe Pets in town, go see her. She's an amazing, incredible comedian.
Yeah.
You will not regret it. If you have a mullet, you know what you need to do. You need to be in that fucking front row.
And if you don't get one cut in, then come anyway.
Yes. She will allow it. All right, legends. Have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets, like real bullets.